So I wanted to open up my YouTube channel talking about a game I'd never really played before. Kingdom Hearts is one of those games that was huge when it came out. Everybody was talking about it. It's very much in the pop culture. You can't really go anywhere today and not really see somebody who hasn't played Kingdom Hearts before. I didn't really know a lot about it. I knew it was an action RPG. I knew it had Disney characters, but that was kind of it. So I thought I would give it a try for my first really kind of playthrough.
The game kicks it right off with a full motion video intro, which, to be honest, is really good despite the fact this game's about 15 years old. The music itself is really catchy, and while we don't know anything about these characters, it makes me really curious to progress in the story to learn a little bit more about them. At the end of the intro, we get a tutorial, choose the attributes we want our character to focus on, answer some strange questions about our personality, and fight a simple boss. And not far into the game, things have kind of already started to go downhill. The game starts us out with a fetch quest where some of the items are a little bit hard to find, introduces us to Donald Duck and Goofy who are looking for Mickey Mouse who has apparently gone missing, and then, no joke, another fetch quest. I'm not sure if I'm misused to modern games, but it's really hard to tell what it is you're supposed to look for because graphically, some of the items are hard to distinguish.
The darkness.
So from this point, things escalate pretty quickly. The town emo has some dialogue and does some stuff. We get the Keyblade, and we're immediately introduced to how much grinding there's going to be in this game. In fact, even when we make it to the game hub, Traverse Town, that's all we spend the majority of the time doing. Grinding, and more grinding. It feels like that's really all we do in this game. It's to fight enemies that artificially lengthen how long this game really is. And if I had to pick one thing as my biggest gripe, that would probably be it. The locales change, the music changes, but the battles stay the same, except sometimes the enemies change into animals or wear outfits. And I guess while I'm talking about gripes, I might as well lay out most of the ones I have with this game. The game seems to get stale at particular areas and runs out of ideas, so it just sends you lots of waves of enemies to kill, which, to be honest, makes the game go stale really fast. The combat is really uninspired, so get used to bashing X, which makes the game feel really repetitive. You can attempt to spice it up a little bit with some magic spells and items, but the interface for that is clunky at best, and while there's a shortcut for spells, good luck using items in a pinch. For putting so much emphasis on platforming, the controls are floaty, which will cause a lot of frustration. The music in this game is pretty good, or what there is of music sounds good. I'm not sure how to phrase this, but the music's good, but the tracks are short and repeat often, so they're still gonna get annoying. The game worlds are small, but they're dense with so much going on, but not really in a good way. It's like they try to cram too much into small areas built like mazes, so you're gonna find yourself doing a lot of backtracking and getting sick of each area pretty fast. I found myself getting annoyed with this, which caused me a lot of mental fatigue playing this game. The camera's awful, even worse than a lot of first-gen Nintendo 64 games. Speaking of Nintendo 64, the Star Fox segments serve no purpose in the context of the story, and don't seem to make a lot of sense and add nothing to this game. Oh, and Tarzan sucks at vine surfing. They couldn't have fixed this detail before release? Okay, so it's actually kind of funny, and I'm glad they left that in. So I've spent a lot of time hating on this game, which wasn't really my intention going into this. I was just kind of surprised by the gameplay, to be honest, but I mean, 15 years ago, that probably wasn't really a big concern. And there's actually a lot of good stuff in this game. And it isn't really all that bad. There's actually a lot of good in this game, despite all the complaining I've been doing. Firstly, the overall story is really solid. While I wasn't really engaged in each individual part, I was actually interested in all of the overarching events as a whole. The voice acting is excellent, for the most part. Some parts do seem a bit uninspired, but for the most part it's great. I had mentioned above that it's a bit dense, and in some places this is actually a good thing. There's a lot of depth in this game, and a lot of items to look for. I found myself really wanting to look for the Dalmatians and the pages for Winnie the Pooh's story, who seems to be having a bit of an existential crisis. The character cameos are also done really well. So despite all the criticism and kind of, critiquing that I've done, I'd still recommend the game to play. If you can get past the gameplay, the content's pretty good, there's a lot of stuff in it, the story's good.
And overall, it's a good foundational game. It kind of spawned the whole franchise, so it's kind of like one of those, I don't want to say a must-play, but it's a good game to go back and just kind of, you know, like brush up on the story a little bit. So in closing, thank you for watching. There's gonna be more videos on the way. Like, comment, subscribe, give me some feedback. I'm still pretty new at this, but look forward to putting out some more videos pretty soon. Thanks for watching.